Welcome to Bad Food Blog. And guess what I'm doing? I'm taking the 20th. Ooh, what do we have? Ta-da! Red Leicester from my cheese calendar. And the 21st, because I have neglected to do another day in a row. And it's now the 21st. There are, of course, only 3 days remaining now in the cheese calendar. And that is vintage applewood. And I'm going to be putting those two in a grilled cheese sandwich. Because, I'm going to be doing the grilled cheese sandwich in the American tradition, which is to put the cheese inside, cut it into slices, butter the outside of the bread, and then put it in the frying pan or a skillet. Well, I'm using a cast iron skillet. Your mileage may vary. So, let's get on with the initial part, which is oddly enough not buttering the bread. The initial part is going to be getting the 2 slices of bread. And here I'm using Tesco's Finest wholemeal loaf, which took me an hour and a half to shop for this morning because everybody's going Christmas shopping crazy. I turned up at our local Tesco's before 8:30 and I still had to queue for about 20 minutes to get in. And then it still took me well over an hour to get around the supermarket because of the sheer vast volume of people there. This is about the perfect amount of cheese for a grilled cheese sandwich. I'll say there's probably a little bit too much here, but it's always best to have more than... Is that a cat? No. 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 For some reason, cats appear to like cheese. And every time this cheese comes out, I get a cat who appears and tries to want to eat it. She obviously has good taste. So we go. One half the grilled cheese sandwich is going to be the the Gloucester. This is the apple cheese, and the other one's going to be the Red Leicester. Sorry, the vintage smoked applewood. Oops, and this side is going to be the Gloucester. You can hear the cat has managed to get on top of something and is now staring at me, squealing. She really appears to like the smell of cheese. I don't think she understands. She probably won't like the taste. I think with cats a lot of the time is they want to know what it is you're eating. They're not actually interested in it per se. It's really interesting to them because it smells new and interesting as a food. Cats seem to like that kind of thing. Right, here we go. I don't like spreading with a sharp knife. It just seems to be less than optimally efficient. So, obviously, the odd thing about a grilled cheese sandwich, especially if you're doing a skillet, is you have to put butter on the outside, the same as if you're using a toasting machine. Now, I have a toasting machine. I have a couple, actually, but I'm trying to do this in the more traditional American style. So, let's take the grilled cheese sandwich over to the skillet. Let's get it popping. You might remember this skillet from such videos as fried scrambled egg and other things. I prefer a cast iron skillet because once you get it up to the correct temperature, which this one is nowhere near, they really hold their heat well. And when you put meat and other foods in, the food cannot compare to the amount of stored heat energy in the pan. So you get a very direct searing. You get a good searing. And the trick is to make sure the pan remains mostly oiled most of the time. Although that looks like it's not oiled, that's getting quite hot. It is actually oiled all around the edge here. It's greasy to the touch. There's a little bit of extra oil in there, just to make sure this doesn't stick as soon as I put it in. But I mean, if you think non-stick surfaces are quite slippery, the handle of the skillet, the inside of the skillet as well, is the lacquer that builds up is incredibly non-stick. Cat's still going for it. Okay, let's pop this straight in. There we go. Let's turn that down to 4. As you can see, it's already started toasting a bit. Now, you'll know when you can turn it over because it'll actually start to get to a certain point where it's toasted and the heat is coming through the bread. The bread is properly toasting. The cheese has melted to the point where it won't separate. Now, the reason I don't put any butter on the inside is that prevents the cheese from sticking the two pieces of bread together, and that's essential for this type of cooking. This type of cooking, you're buttering the outside. Yes, you end up with butter on the plate. But I mean, that can easily be scraped up and just placed anywhere. Making sure it doesn't spend too long in any one part of the pan, moving it around a little bit, making sure it's not sticking. Just not, but the heat's getting transferred too. Now, a lot of people will tell you to put a lid on at this point. I'm against that idea with a grilled cheese sandwich. Don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's the correct thing to do. I think it's wrong at this point. Got a paw just come up over the top of the table there, trying to grab something. She is desperate to get her hands on the cheese. All right, I'm putting the rest of the advent calendar back in the fridge. It's something about smoked or mature cheese that just drives a cat insane. I'm not even sure what it is. I'm not even sure what it could be about it. Just cheese. Okay. Now we're reaching a point where I'm not hearing any bubbling anymore. The pan's reached a bit of equilibrium. It's very hot, even the handle now. We might be close to the point of giving it its first turn. Is that cheese starting to get soft? Not really feeling much heat from the end there. Starting to smell a bit of toasting. I think a couple more minutes. But this really is one of my favorite recipes. Unlike, say, doing cheese on toast or using a toasty maker, this kind of just, I don't know, it's the way that it's cooked makes it taste better. Maybe it's the reliance on gravity, maybe it's just, I don't know what it is. This seems to taste better. Yeah, I think it's time to flip it. Ah, perfect. You see that? Just starting to toast a little there. Yeah, the cheese is melted. It's just it's just perfect. I've got the pan at exactly the right temperature as well. The oil isn't smoking. That's a little bit of it was a little bit of sunflower oil in there. The spread is clover, so it's vegetable based. So it's quite high cooking temperatures on both of those. This is not an occasion where you want a strong tasting oil. You definitely don't want to use something like an extra virgin olive oil or sesame seed oil or any of those other rubbish things. Probably rapeseed oil would be the best for highest cooking temperature to toast off the bread without causing as little smoke as possible. Got a little bit of bread sticking there. See if the cheese is melting. Oh, look at that. Melting away perfectly. It always seems to take less time on the second side for obvious reasons, because when you first put the first side down, the butter's very cold. By the time you've heated it in the pan on one side, the heat's probably 70-80% through the bread. So when you're turning it over, you're causing heat to come from both sides now, because the top is going to continue cooking. It's still too hot to touch on the top. So it's going to continue cooking for a while. But this skillet may be getting a little too cold, so I'm going to put it up to 5. Let's raise the temperature. See if I can't get a nice, good toasted smell out of it. And I might turn it over just one more time, just to finish the whole thing off. Then I'm going to put some pepper on it and eat it. Get a good push down, make sure that cheese is getting everywhere under there. Grilled cheese sandwich. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Seeing I've taste tested these cheeses quite a few times, doing with this with them isn't really a problem at all. I'll put this video straight up. Oh, there we go, yeah. See, this side cooked a bit faster and did a bit better, you know? That's really crispy. I think we even say that's a little bit burnt. I'd say that's just on the edge of what's acceptable. It's burnt, but it's not horribly burnt. Okay, I think we're done. Got some smoke coming off there. There we go. Looking pretty nifty. Yum, yum, yum. Go, let's move that off the heat because that's going to continue to smoke otherwise. And the grilled cheese sandwich is back over here. It looks less burnt in the light here. It's just well toasted. Let's cut it down the middle. We should have red Leicester on one side and smoked applewood on the other. Oh, perfect. I think I got that pretty close to perfect if you look at that. So let's go for the applewood first. Just to open it to show you. Really nice. Oh, just the perfect way to do a cheese toastie. Well, before anybody says this is less healthy than a cheese sandwich, I didn't put too much more butter on than somebody would making a sandwich. And all I've done is toasted it to melt the cheese. That's about the cheese you'd have in a sandwich. So this isn't any more unhealthy than a normal cheese sandwich. That smoked cheese really works. Very, very, very strong smoked cheese. Yes, it's almost Christmas. I might wash this down in a minute with a nice gingerbread latte. Definitely add a touch of pepper for the red Leicester. Also going to taste amazing. Perfect. Really nice. Completely different texture, completely different flavour of the cheese. It's melted a lot less harshly. It's actually a better match for this type of bread, I'd say, in flavour. Very crunchy. Not the cheese, that's not the point of this sandwich. It really is nice. Well, there we go. 20th and 21st of the Advent cheese calendar turned into a grilled cheese sandwich and eaten on camera. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video.